I totally saw that you were recording, because I did it myself.
All right, so like everybody always complains about how I don't talk bad about Taiwan. As I said before, I've only been here a year, but I do have one that I wanted to talk to you about today. Taiwan, you need to fix something with the air conditioner in Taiwan because it's broken. So, my name is Tommy. If you've watched my videos before, I appreciate it. If you guys could subscribe to my channel down below or like my videos, do whatever you guys want, comment, that's awesome, great, thank you. Today I wanted to talk about the struggles of being a foreigner in Taiwan and how that affects me personally. So, let's go. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk today about is common sense in Taiwan. Things that I always thought were common sense in America don't necessarily become common sense, and they don't translate out properly when you move overseas. So, an example of something that I had happen that was about 6 months ago. I found a wallet at the bus station. In America, if you find a wallet at the bus station, you know it's gone. There's no question about whether it's going to stay there or not. So I proceeded to take the wallet to the person who was working on the bus. And I gave him the wallet and he looked at it and he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, put it back. It's like, wait, what? It's gonna get taken. All of a sudden I just realized, I'm like, oh yeah. Common sense is not the same in Taiwan as it is in America. To my Taiwanese audience, I have a question for you as well. Was I suspicious in picking up that wallet or should I have left it? I don't know what you guys would have done, but in my experience, it seems like people just generally leave things where they're at. So what's your thoughts on that? All right, so another struggle that I wanted to talk about is how a lot of people perceive Americans outside of America. America is a rich nation. That's kind of a given, right? But Americans as individuals don't necessarily have as much money as many might think. In fact, actually, the average amount of credit card debt for an American in America is $6,194 US dollars, which is about 184,000 Taiwan dollars. I am one of those people who has a decent chunk of debt that I have to pay down. And that being said, about 1/3 to 1/2 of my income that I make out of Taiwan goes straight back to America to pay my bills off. So this doesn't make it easy for me. I'm here to have fun, I'm here to experience life, but there are other people here who don't have bills that they have to pay back home. And that's where I think it breaks down, is the fact that people think that just because I'm American, I'm rich. I'm not. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is the expat community and how different that is from personally what I like to do. So one of the things that I find is that a lot of the expat community likes to go out and do they like to drink or they like to party, things like that. And it's not necessarily my interest. So it's funny because I find a lot of the people actually from Taiwan are interested in more things that I like to do. They like to go to arcades, they like to go out with their friends, have fun. People are staring at us. But the other thing too is the fact that I can't communicate with them. So the people who actually want to do the things that I want to do, I can't talk to. We like to do things we like to go to coffee shops, we like to go to movies, arcades. But there's not a lot of people in the expat community that like to do that because most people from the expat community are into drinking, they're into partying, they're into doing younger activities. And I'm old. So, let's move on. So we had to come in because it was getting actually too dark out too quick and we were out and about doing our thing all day. The next one that I wanted to talk about was reading and how hard and frustrating that can be. As a foreigner, I live in Taiwan, and one of the biggest issues that I have is I can't read. Can't speak really well. I'm illiterate as far as reading and writing goes, and it makes it so that way the only way I can respond or read is in English. Here comes Google Translate, right? Okay, so Google Translate does an awesome job at being able to make it so that way we can read menus and we can read different food items, but it doesn't help us when we're driving around on our scooter. We drive around a lot trying to find different restaurants because we want to explore different cuisines, different things that they have to offer in Taiwan. But when you're driving around, it's really hard to read signs unless they actually have English on them. So as a foreigner, it's a really big struggle for us to be able to find good restaurants. But when we do find them, we obviously eat them way too much. And then all of a sudden people are like, why do you come here every week? Because we found your food. And something else too that is really kind of frustrating about ordering food is something that might take somebody else from Taiwan, like a local person, a minute to maybe order from, takes us upwards, maybe 3-4 minutes to be able to order on these menus. And it's not because of the fact that we don't know how to use the menus. We figured out the menu system. It's because the fact that we have to literally take Google Translate and find each and every single word, and a lot of the time it actually shows like weird things like Mountain Dew cardboard. You're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But these words, the way that they get pieced together through Google Translate doesn't always make sense. So thankfully we have that option. We can actually go through things, we can find out what they are just with Google Translate. All right, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about was missing family, something that I never really thought that I would have to deal with because of the fact that I've never been super close with my family the way like my girlfriend is. So if you've watched any bit of news recently, you've seen stuff about George Floyd and the case going on with him, what happened to him, as well as COVID-19, which I think America is about to reach 2 million cases nationwide, which is insane because that's a huge portion of our US population. We don't know really if our family is safe anymore because we did live in a major city, Chicago. So our family still being there, there's still a lot of concerns for safety going on because obviously this virus can still spread like wildfire. So I find us a lot of the time on Skype calls or FaceTime calls with our family, and we talk throughout the whole night because of the fact that that's the time that they're generally awake at. We're in a really weird place because we're in a very safe country. We're in a place where there's really no COVID-19 cases going on at all. There's no riots in the streets happening. And to see your country kind of up in flames makes it really hard because you want to be there and you want to be with the ones that you love. But if I go back to America, I'm on a 14-day quarantine. And then if I come back to Taiwan, I'm on another 14-day quarantine. So there's no winning for us to be able to go back and forth. So we're literally in this kind of stuck point where we can't do anything about our families being in an unsafe spot. So thank you guys. If you guys could subscribe to my channel, or you guys could like this video if you guys actually enjoyed it, I really appreciate it. These are just some of the issues that we have with having lived in Taiwan. Not that there's anything wrong with Taiwan per se, it's just some of the issues that we have as foreigners living here. And this is to be expected. This is something that we knew was going to happen, but they are real things that we do deal with on a daily. Have an awesome day. We'll see you guys next week. Bye. It is in America. Let's go. I don't know why I said that.